You know, folks, like about 1 billion people or 1 million people or whatever, every day I jump on a computer or I get my iPod or my Kindle, if you will, and I tune in to YouTube. Excuse me. I know that sounds crazy. Tune in to YouTube, right? Well, that's basically what I do. I tune in to YouTube, like anybody. And I see exactly what they have to offer. Now, like a lot of you out there, I also have a lot of channels that I've subscribed to. Some channels that I've subscribed to because of friends of mine, and some that I've subscribed to because basically I'm a fan of whatever they're talking about. You know, I'm subscribed to Channel Awesome, to Cinemassacre, things like that. I'm subscribed to Zara Nizarek, you know, and many others. Frank Hill, I think I'm subscribed to. I believe I am. Israel Decoy, and the list goes on. Sonic SatAM X93, who has a channel on here, I believe I'm subscribed to him, as well as Laura Blue. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on. Well, one of the other channels that I'm subscribed to as well is Watch Mojo. Now, for a lot of you that don't know, Watch Mojo is basically like some kind of entertainment, multimedia entertainment website. Well, it's a website, but it also has a channel. I think, in a sense, they might be connected to Screw Attack. I'm not entirely sure, but I think that if not, they're their own thing. They're kind of like, I'm not saying they're like the E network of YouTube, but basically, Watch Mojo is basically sort of like, this is what's, well, basically it's an entertainment channel on YouTube. That's what it is. But most of the time, what was this? Oh yeah. And one of the things they do, just like a lot of entertainment channels, they do go and talk about and attend certain events. Sometimes they go to San Diego Comic-Con, they go to E3, New York Comic-Con, you name it, they'll do that kind of stuff. Again, and they also talk about things like the Academy Awards, the Grammys, you name it. Things like that. That's basically what Watch Mojo is. So, like I said, they're kind of like the, like I said, the E network, maybe, or the Entertainment Tonight, or whatever, of YouTube, as far as I'm concerned, or at least one of the major ones. And why do I say major? Because when you go on Google, they are listed as one of the primary sources for several major articles. Now, you're probably wondering why I'm bringing this up. Well, believe it or not, Watch Mojo is the reason why this video with the SatAM title is being done. You see, today, like I said, like many fans, like many subscribers and viewers and members of YouTube, I looked at some of the channels, some of the subscriptions that I have, and one of the new videos that Watch Mojo put out was a top 10 cartoons based on a video game. Now, this is one of the daily, if not weekly, like I said, daily, if not weekly, bi-daily or bi-weekly, but mostly daily or bi-daily things that Watch Mojo does. They create and present a top 10 countdown of what they consider the best of the best, or the worst of the worst. And like I said, because they seem to be on the same level as, let's say, something like a, you know, like an E network, or maybe not as much as a Billboard or a box office, but somewhere in that vein, a lot of people do take their top 10 list very seriously for maybe possible considerations to do things in the future. Well, I was watching this countdown, and something told me that Sonic SatAM, because they did show a clip of it right at the start, that something told me it was going to be in the top 5, probably number 1, hopefully. Well, unfortunately, Sonic SatAM, according to Watch Mojo's top 10 countdown, was not number 1. That was Pokemon, which I don't think would surprise anybody. But what's funny about this is if you take Watch Mojo's countdown list very seriously, if you consider theirs, like I said, to be one of the more legitimate top 10 countdowns of anything that they do, of things all time, just like you would take something like with, Time or Life magazine did a top 50 countdown of the top 50 movies of all time. A lot of, or you to look at the AFI's top 100 movies of all time. You see what I'm saying? You take that stuff legitimately, and that's all part of multimedia entertainment. So is Watch Mojo. And I think anybody probably watching might agree with that. But anyway, Sonic SatAM was not number 1. Pokemon was. But Sonic SatAM cracked the top 2. That's right. Sonic SatAM is according to Watch Mojo, is the number 2 best cartoon based on a video game of all time. That's right. Out of the top 10 list of the top 10 video game, of the top 10 cartoons based cartoons based on a video game of all time, Sonic SatAM came in at number 2. Now I know a lot of you are going to say something in the comment section saying, "Oh, the bird basically came out and told you to shut up." You tell the bird that. That's a love bird. Go figure. But anyway, like I said, the Watch Mojo, if you take, like I was trying to say, like if you take their countdown very, very seriously, like people would do with the AFI Top 100 countdown of movies, or the Billboard Top 10 countdown of songs of all time, or whatever, because this is basically in that same vein as being a multimedia outlet, that a lot of people, a lot of sources, a lot of entertainment sources, legit entertainment sources, take seriously and rely on, then Sonic SatAM being the number 2 cartoon, being in the top 2, being the top 3, if not the second best. Basically Sonic SatAM, according to Watch Mojo, is the second best cartoon based on a video game of all time. That's right. And it beat out some of these newer ones, and if not more recent ones in the past. It beat out, what was it? Persona 4. It beat out Persona 4. It beat out Super Mario Bros. Super Show and The Legend of Zelda. It beat out Captain N. It beat out Mega Man NT Warrior. The list could go on. It beat out Donkey Kong Country. You name it. It beat them out. It even beat out the honorable mentions of the F-Zero anime, or the hack/sign anime. It beat out Earthworm Jim. The point is, even though it lost the number 1 spot to Pokemon, according to Watch Mojo, Sonic SatAM at number 2 shows the legitimacy of how good this show is. And it shows that if anybody wants to take this seriously, does take the top 10 list of any multimedia entertainment outlet like WatchMojo seriously, then I think this just proves once and for all that Sonic SatAM is indeed something that a lot of companies can look at and say, okay, let's take this concept and let's make it into something more. Let's continue where a certain writer left off. Let's take a look at what fans are saying about this. And I think, even being at number 2, being ranked number 2, being ranked the second best cartoon based on a video game of all time, that still says something. That's like if you go to the Super Bowl, and even if your team doesn't win, at least you could say that you were one of the top 2 teams in the NFL for that year. If not for that era, if you continue to go. It shows that you are among the elite, if not the elite. It's kind of like in boxing, if you take boxing seriously anymore. It's like you have your certain heavyweight champions that are there. You have your WBO heavyweight champion, your IBF heavyweight champions, your WBA heavyweight champion. And these basically are considered the top 3 elite champions in boxing. You take a look at Floyd Mayweather, despite how you feel about the guy. He's considered the very best, and despite how you feel about the outcome of his match with Manny Pacquiao, he and Pacquiao are considered 2 of the very best boxers of all time. Not the greatest like Ali or Foreman or Frazier, but they are considered among the very elite. And in today's world, in today's boxing world, they are considered 2 of the top. They are considered the top 2 of all time in this day and age. So that is why when something like Sonic SatAM here gets ranked at number 2, according to a legit entertainment source like WatchMojo.com, even though they lost to a cartoon based on a video game that's still going on to this day, Pokemon, that still says something. That does still say something, because basically what's being shown there is that even those that work for these kind of multimedia ventures know what's good. I mean, the guy basically said in the video that they took a relatively simple concept and expanded on it. And that's what they did, and that's what made it good. And I think basically, he said that about several others as well. But basically the indication what he put there, not only with Sonic and several others, but with Sonic being at number 2 and saying that, he's basically saying you took a relatively simple concept of a hedgehog rescuing animals from a mad doctor and expanded on it and made it something more. And you know what's funny about this? Adventures was not on the list. It wasn't even in the honorable mention. Now, true, he did say one version of adaptation was allowed on the list. One adaptation and probably multi-adaptions. But get this. SatAM beat out, to be the show that was mentioned, and at number 2, it beat out Adventures, Underground, and X. And even Boom. And that's saying something. That is indeed saying something. It shows you that people can take something like this legitimately serious, can take this legitimately and seriously, if done right. So, I thought I'd just pass that along to you guys. Sorry for the interruptions here or there, the bird, as you can hear in the background, the dog going out and everything. But I thought I'd just share that with you guys, because this is huge. I mean, it's been legitimately, no matter how you look at it, 20 years since the show went off the air. He even mentioned it, that it ended on a cliffhanger. Basically trying to throw out, in my opinion, on his behalf, trying to throw out the indication that, hey, you might want to keep this going, it's that good. So I thought I'd just share that with you. But yeah, WatchMojo.com ranks Sonic SatAM as at number 2 of the top. Ranks Sonic SatAM as the second best video game cartoon of all time. Or as it says right here, Sonic SatAM or SatAM is ranked as the number 2 best video game cartoon of all time. So thought I'd let you guys know that. Let me know what you guys think down below, and I'm out.